Live from the News Hub at Adisawe Kanda in Accra, this is News at 10 with me, Stephen NT. Wherever you are around the world, you can watch us live on Facebook and on the internet at 3news.com. Let's begin with a summary of today's top stories. Residents of Bonsahon have for several years expressed worry about the lack of potable water, access to healthcare and poor roads in their area. But following stories aired on TV3's Mission, David Vondi, a former MP aspirant in the area, has constructed and commissioned a borehole worth 15,000 cedis to solve the situation. And the Millennium Challenge Corporation has expressed its gratitude to President Akufo-Addo for his exemplary role in finding a lasting solution to the political impasse in Togo. Acting Chief Executive Officer of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC, Jonathan Nash, said his outfit was considering investing in Togo but had to postpone it because of the ongoing political crisis in that country. And some parts of Mangu, Dobile and Paguri, all suburbs of Wa in the Upper West region, have been flooded following a downpour which occurred Saturday morning. The downpour, which lasted for over 6 hours, rendered many residents who live along the Mangu River homeless. Records available to the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department and the National Road Safety Commission show a total of 1,774 reported road accidents occurred between January 1st and 31st this year, claiming 139 lives. These were disclosed by the Director of Education and Research at the Police Headquarters, DSP Alexander Obing, at a road safety campaign at East Lagos. Those are our major news highlights. Remember, you can watch us live on Facebook and on 3news.com. Up next is the big one. Welcome back. Now, water crisis has hit residents of Nambong in the Tatale Sanguli district of the northern region. Women and children have to wake up at 4 a.m. and trek for about 4 hours to and from a stream for water. This is affecting academic work in the area as children finally get to school between 9 and 10 a.m. Again, the search for water at dawn affects pupils as they cannot concentrate in class. Others sometimes have to leave school before closing hours to search for water. Nambong, which is about a 5-hour ride from the district capital, Tatale, is without a regular source of potable water. Residents are appealing to government and non-governmental organizations to come to their aid. All right, let's get onto the telephone lines now. The District Chief Executive of Tatale Sanguli, Thomas Mbomba, who will give us a clear picture of the situation in the district and what possibly could be done. Good evening, sir. Thank you. We're extremely grateful. So what we're hearing is a pretty sad thing there. Can you paint the exact picture of the situation for us? Because we hear some of your people have to travel to neighboring Togo before they can get access to water.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great. So I'm asking you to paint the accurate picture of exactly what is happening, because we're receiving reports that some of your residents are compelled to travel across to Togo before they can access water.
Honestly, the water situation in the Tatale district is a problem. But all the same, the river that they go to fetch water is not actually in Togo. It is the river that separates Togo and Ghana. You know, number one, that community is a large village to Togo. But the community and the river is not all that far. If my memory can set me right, it's not up to 2 kilometers from Nambong to that river.
So what we need to understand really is that it means that the Tatale Sanguli area, the people's main source of water is this river you're talking about, or there are other sources of water?
There are other sources of water. You know, Tatale Sanguli, apart from Tatale, that we can boast of adequate supply of water. And during the dry season, they depend solely on rivers around them. And we have dotted all over the district. We have big boreholes. But because sometimes the water table of certain communities are very low, so during the dry season like this, you see that the water table will go down and the borehole
will dry
up for the community. So when it's like that, some are compelled to depend on the rivers around them. So basically, the rivers are not the only source of water. This community, they're talking about now, they have a borehole, and they don't depend solely on the river.
So it means that this is not the first time. From what you're saying, I understand now that this is actually not the first time there is water shortage in your community.
Yes, you know, because of the dry season, Tatale with particular, not even in Tatale, in the northern region, most of our communities, we have water problems. And Tatale,
right. So I would like us to just still focus on Tatale and leaving out the broader northern region. From what you're telling me, it means that you as DC and other local authorities are aware of the problem. Can you tell me what steps the district is taking to make sure that you don't only end this problem, but you perhaps end it for good?
What we are doing currently to solve the problem is we have embarked on massive drilling of boreholes.
But you're just telling me that the boreholes have low water tables, so during the dry season they dry up, and you still find the borehole as the best alternative, or you're investing into sinking deeper?
Yes, you know, most of the time what I've realized is that most of the time when they construct those boreholes that are in now, most of the time they construct them during the rainy season, sometimes. So when they construct them during the time there's water, you see that the depth will not be enough. So this time what we have started doing is that we decided not to construct the boreholes during the time it was raining. So this time the water table has gone down, and the boreholes that we are constructing now, the depth is enough for us to be able to pump water. We are also looking at constructing dams. So far, we have earmarked a lot of communities that very soon will be embarking on construction of dams.
But these construction, the construction of dams, I just want to figure out where this fits into government's broad plan of using dams for irrigation purposes rather than perhaps use them for drinking water. Are you working alongside with the Ministry of Environment, Water Resources for this kind of ambition?
Yes. You know, the dams that we earmarking for the northern region fall within the government initiatives. But I think the dams will not be solely for looking at our water situation in the north, particularly in Tatale. The dams that we will be constructing them will not be solely
for agricultural purposes.
It will also be used for drinking water.
Interesting. So beyond that, I need us to put figures to it, actually. How many boreholes, for example, are you considering, and how many dams are you considering? What are the timelines? Because the problem persists. And so if we just hear authorities telling us that we're doing ABC without pinpointing exactly what they're doing with timelines, we're making no progress.
On the side of the boreholes, I think last week, Tuesday, we have engaged a company, and they are even in the community right now trying to identify places that would be good for the boreholes. And so far, they have been able to identify. We have budgeted for about 50 boreholes to be constructed before the rain sets in. But so far, they have been able to do their feasibility studies, and then the water, where they have been able to get water. So far, I think about 34 communities now, and we have agreed that on Wednesday, they will come and start drilling the boreholes.
Right.
And Nambong is part of those communities.
Right.
Nambong is part of the community. On the side of the dam, along with the government institute for providing one dam, it is identify 20 communities, and then the process is still ongoing. And we are hoping that this thing will be done before the rain sets in.
Right, we're grateful for your time. Thank you very much. Thomas Imbomba is the District Chief Executive of Tatale Sanguli. I'm Stephen Enti, and this is News at 10. We're live from the News Hub at Adisawe Kanda. We have more news for you. Please stay. Welcome back. Now, after the launch of the two new additions to Samsung's collection of phones, S9 and S9 Plus at the Fira de Barcelona Montjuic, Media General's Alfredo Kanse had a one-on-one interaction with the West African brand ambassador of Samsung, Banky W. Let's take a listen.
Tonight witnessed another beautiful, rather groundbreaking, revolutionary launch of Samsung's new products, the S9 and S9 Plus. We had some wonderful audience here, and amongst this wonderful audience is a very own celebrated Nigerian, but rather international artist, Banky W, with us here. It's good to have you.
How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm excited to be here in Barcelona.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What before this launch, what was the expectation when you walked into this place?
No, you know, I've been with the Samsung mobile brand in Nigeria and West Africa now for a while. But every year they find a way to push the envelope, to push things a little bit further, to think outside the box, to just improve really every year. And every year I think, okay, you know, what else can they possibly do? You know, where can we go from here? And it seems like every year they're able to top it. So this year I came in expectant that, you know, they were going to change the game again, they were going to improve, it was going to be something groundbreaking and mind-blowing, and I'm happy to say they did not disappoint.
And the products have been unveiled now, as it's been done every other year at the Unpacked events. Now, what do you make of that experience that we're told to expect for the S9 and S9 Plus?
The experience has been amazing. I mean, just watching the demos that they did on stage and then getting to kind of play with the devices. Probably some of my favorite things about the experience is really what they've done with the whole camera thing, with reimagining the camera and making it function more like a human eye, for it to be able to perform as it does in dark. I mean, I really loved when they did the live picture of the audience in the dark and it looked very bright, you know. So just for them to be able to do that, for the camera to adjust to low light and heavy light situations. The super slow motion might be my favorite thing ever. I can't wait to get back to Lagos and go and record my dog jumping, because it's going to make Duke, my dog, look awesome. So there's a lot of toys. I mean, it's, you know, at the end of the day, the phone is probably the most personal device that anybody can own. And they found a way to make it that much more personal, that much more expressive, that much more tied to your own style and your own expression, and I think that's incredible.
There's a high anticipation and expectation for it, isn't it? Yeah. You're going to be one of the first people to grab one.
I say I'm looking for it now. I want to steal it now. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Thank you, Monkey.
Thank you,
grateful,
boss.
Grateful. So that's what's happening here. The excitement, the anticipation, very high, and rightly so. The S9 and S9 Plus is an amazing experience. This is just the beginning of what to expect from Samsung at the Mobile World Congress 2018, live from Barcelona.
Okay, I'm doing the finishing touches on the mic.
The biggest gathering of mobile phone tech experts is right here in Barcelona, in Spain. Join us on our various Media General platforms as we bring you live updates of the Mobile World Congress 2018 live from Barcelona, only on TV3, on 3FM, on Onia FM, on Connect FM, also on 3news.com. My name is Alfredo Conce. Join me live from Barcelona in Spain. Inspired, brought to you by Samsung.
Right, you can't afford to leave our platforms during this period, whilst Alfredo Conce brings you all the juicy tidbits from the Samsung Tech Forum. Let's move on to some other stories. The Progressive People's Party has admonished government to come out with a clearly defined plan for the creation of jobs in this country. At the 6th anniversary of the creation of the Youth Wing, the executive director of the party, Richard Nyama, said there is no meaningful plan for job creation by the government.
The anniversary to mark 6 years of the existence of the Progressive Youth Movement was on the theme Creating a Value Alternative Government, the Role of the Progressive Youth. The leader of the movement, Emmanuel Osei, said the youth require strategic attention in their personal development.
We ensure that we be at peace with each and every one. We also ensure that we engage in politics of issues, not politics of insult. That at the end of the day can't tarnish the image that the Progressive People's Party has earned over the years as a disciplined political party.
Executive Director of the party, Richard Nyama, said present and past governments have no clue on job creation, adding they have rather created a system where upcoming entrepreneurs find difficulty in developing their business plans.
The Registrar General, to Ghana Revenue Authority, to the District Assembly, Ghana Police Service, Fire Service, they are all filled with what I would call unwelcoming staff who are mostly unwilling to help young people. Yet, when they realize a little resemblance of success in what you are doing, they would come over you like vultures to chase you for taxes and sometimes to chase you for bribe.
He added government must create unity in the police service to check parents who do not enroll their wards in school. The chairman of the party, Ni Alote Bru Hammond, expressed worry over the enormous powers the constitution has bestowed on the president.
We have a constitution that exempts the president from paying tax. What moral authority would he have to go and ask others to pay tax when he the topmost man of the land is exempt from paying tax. That is something that must be cured. And you have to join us to cure it. We have a constitution that has created an imperial president. All the powers are in the hands of the president. Even the legislature depends on the executive for everything.
The youth were encouraged to love the country and be disciplined in all their endeavors.
And a middle-aged woman at Bortemang in Accra collapsed Sunday morning when her house, along with about 100 others, were demolished. The houses were believed to be situated on government property meant for agricultural purposes.
Joyce Bortelli could not stand the sight of her two-bedroom apartment being demolished. The demolition had come as a shock to her and other property owners in the area, as there was no prior notice. Apparently, the land on which the demolished buildings were situated belonged to the government, meant for agricultural purposes. But Joyce's husband claims the land is a Nungwa's land. He indicated it was given to his family for free 2 years ago by the then Willem Mayor, since they are natives of Nungwa. After securing the land, I went to the Lands Commission to make my own investigations, and I was told I could go ahead to build, since I'm a native of Nungwa. The exercise was led by Director of Operations of the Ghana Police Service, Chief Superintendent Kwesi Ofori, who assured the police commitment to protect government land and property.
One thing of worry is in between bungalows, in between government facilities, you see private developers putting up their structures. It's uncalled for. It's improper and unlawful. Let me use this opportunity to warn the land guard to keep off this area. The police in their routine patrols, operations will be coming here, to protect officials, personnel, and facilities here.
Over the last 2 months, the Regional Police Command has conducted special operations against land guards in areas like Weija, Airport East, Abokobi, Adenta, Oibi, and have arrested some 200 land guards who are currently being processed in court.
Mostly in the day you see them as land guards, in the night they go out as robbers. So we have a holistic program in place, not only the regional headquarters, but we have police formations that are all part of these exercises. So I would say that we need public support in this direction.
It was also observed some houses in the community had illegally connected electricity from the national grid.
And some security experts have linked the allegation of sexual abuse against Ghanaian police peacekeepers in South Sudan to low morality. This follows the withdrawal of 46-member contingent protecting civilians at the biggest internally displaced camp at Wau, South Sudan, for further investigations on the alleged sexual abuse.
The United Nations and the United Nations Mission in South Sudan, UNMISS Code of Conduct prohibits sexual relationships with vulnerable individuals, including all beneficiaries of assistance. The Saturday directive was based on information that the 46th contingent of Ghanaian Formed Police Unit, FPU, at Wau were allegedly engaged in sexual relationship with women in the camp. UNMISS then informed the UN headquarters in New York, after which an investigation into the incident began.
I know the police administration would by now have been embarrassed by these allegations, whether proven or unproven, because the sort of hard work that has been put into all these things, they would have to sit up now and ensure that henceforth people who are deployed are of the highest standard, to ensure that people that are dense disciplinary-wise, were not deployed to the ground.
If you go into the nitty-gritties of who are even deployed, there's a lot of who you know. I mean, and it's always almost becoming the highest bidder at the expense of other officers, well-performing officers in the country, who would want to have a taste of how these peacekeeping missions go.
South Sudan, which won independence from Sudan in 2011, descended into civil war in 2013, months after President Salva Kiir fired his deputy, Riek Machar. Tens of thousands of people have been killed, and a third of the population have fled their homes. The United Nations has 6 civilian protection sites across the country, housing some 204,501 people. UNMISS comprises over 17,000 peacekeeping personnel, including 13,000 soldiers and 1,500 police officers. The Ghana Police has since 2015 contributed over 500 personnel in 3 batches, with the last switch between troops occurring on January 31 this year.
And that's how we wrap up with News at 10. On behalf of the rest of the crew here, good night.